Hi, I'm Giovanna Collifer, and we are on week 5 of this interactive kind of lab experiment. And today we are doing the penny chemistry experiment. So, as you see, let me bring you a little bit closer. I have a pretty gnarly looking penny, right? A lot of gross stuff all over it. So, before we start, you're probably wondering, why does this penny look like this? So, this penny is all gross and dirty because everything on here is made up of kind of these tiny particles that we know as atoms, right? And so the copper of a penny is made up of copper atoms. Now, sometimes the atoms of different, atoms that are different than the copper atoms kind of join up with this to make molecules. Now, copper atoms can combine with oxygen atoms of the air, right? Everything that we breathe, to make a molecule called copper oxide. Excuse me, I have to take a sip of water. Now, copper oxide, right? Copper oxide is what makes this penny look gross and dirty because it's covered with this copper oxide. Now, you're probably wondering, how do we make this penny look beautiful and everything? So, what we're going to do an experiment with just some water, salt, my little teaspoon, right? Salt, and some vinegar. So what we're going to do before we put the penny in, place that down, we're going to put the salt into the water. So throw it in there. You can see it's all in there. Then you're going to put 1/4 cup of vinegar into the solution as well. Sorry, I'm just getting over the flu, so I have a little remnants of it, but that's okay. So then we're going to put the vinegar in here as well, right? So what we're going to do, we're going to mix this up so the salt is all dissolved, right? So it takes some time. I used my Himalayan salt. That was all I had left, so kind of have bigger chunks of salt. That'll take some time to dissolve within the solution. Awesome. Now, by putting this penny, this copper oxide covered penny into this solution, it will actually take off the copper oxide. Now I'll explain that. Once I pop it in, whoop, and in, right? We'll give it some time, and I'm going to explain what should happen in this experiment. Now, vinegar and salt help clean the penny, right? So copper oxide dissolves in a mixture of a weak acid, and table salt and vinegar are that acid, right? If you can clean it with other things, but this kind of breaks down and dissolves the copper oxide layer, and it makes it easier for kind of those copper, copper atoms to join with the oxygen from the air and the chlorine from the salt, and it kind of can create a clean penny when you keep it into this mixture. But if you take it out, again, like I said, the oxygen atoms will kind of combine with it, and then you'll get this blue-green kind of compound. It's pretty interesting, like I said. Hopefully it is working. Sometimes you have to put them in here for quite some time. We'll leave it in for about 30 more seconds. But again, let me recap. So the dirtiness on that penny, it's not because it was thrown in the dirt, rolled around, and all that. It is because the copper atoms kind of combine with different atoms in the atmosphere, like oxygen, and it creates what's called copper oxide, which gives you kind of that dirty and dull look. Kind of takes away the shine, of the copper that we normally see on a new penny, right? In this vinegar and salt mixture, what it does is it kind of breaks up that and dissolves the copper oxide with an acid solution, right? Kind of dissolves all the molecules, kind of breaks them apart, right? So let's see if this would work, right? And I think it has, and if we leave it in longer, it's gonna get way better, right? So let me bring it up to you guys. I can actually move some off my hand. All right, so as you can see, a little bit, you can see more on the back side. See how the Lincoln Memorial is getting a little broken up. Before that was all dirt. All that copper oxide was kind of crunched on in there. So it's breaking up a little bit. But again, if we keep it in this solution longer, all that copper oxide is going to be broken up from this acid solution that we have made. Again, my name is Giovanna Colfer. This is February 15th, 2019, in week 5 of our chemistry course. Thank you.